I honestly feel like quitting. I just like want to give up.
These are some of the thoughts you may currently be having. Me and Tuck are here to tell you not even to entertain the idea. Even if your garden did poor this year and you're lacking some motivation, we're here to encourage you to push on, to keep sowing and to keep growing. The garden season may be half over, but that still means that there's half left. There still is some good that can come from it as well. Every mistake carries within it the seed of an equivalent success. The only possible way to fail is if you quit. It has not been an easy year to grow food. It seems like the weather has shifted from one extreme to the next. But we can't get into the mindset of blaming things that are outside of our control. We need to focus on what we can do to prepare, adjust, and manage our way through tough situations. And we gotta see the beauty in things too. Look at this echinacea plant right here. The bees are going crazy, they love it. Not only does it look beautiful, but it also brings in a lot of pollinators and it's a great medicinal. Come down here too. Check out these clementine tomatoes. Look how loaded these plants are. Even when everything seems to be going wrong, there's always some successes we could find within the garden. We need to focus on those and not just get too upset over some of the things that didn't go the way we wanted. If at this point your summer garden is beyond saving, now is the time to prepare for fall. Now is the time to push ahead, to work through the heat, and to press towards your future fall harvests. You may be one season away from unlocking the true potential of your garden. It would be a shame to quit right before your massive success. This garden doesn't look great. It looks terrible almost at this point, but just right behind me, we have a big success that we could look towards to know that there's going to be some future harvests. Gardening isn't about the success today, it's about the success next year and the ones in the future. So don't give up, don't quit, don't ever quit. Sometimes it's not as much about the scenario as it is about the perspective you're viewing it from. Maybe your melons didn't grow so well this year, or you planted your cucumbers too early. The fact that you grew them means you now have a better understanding and you could adjust for next year and build on that knowledge in the future. The same goes for your wins. If your tomatoes are doing great this year, celebrate that, be happy with that, but then also try to find out why your tomatoes did well this year. This way you could recreate it next year, refine it, and then the following year could be your best year ever of growing tomatoes. When it comes down to it, so much about successful gardening is about experience. If you quit now, you're never going to give yourself the opportunity to have a successful garden year after year. It's much easier to avoid a problem that you know is coming rather than having to try to deal with or manage a problem after it's become one. In gardening, it's important to know that everything compounds. If you allow weeds to get a foothold in your garden, they will grow exponentially. The thing is, we can use this idea of compounding to our advantage. For instance, if we learn more every year, our understanding and our knowledge will compound also, and that will help our harvests grow exponentially instead of the weeds growing exponentially. So this idea of compounding, you need to make sure you're using it to your own advantage, especially in the garden. Another thing is, sometimes it's a good year for one thing and not for another. For instance, it's been a great year for apples. These are in the rose family. You may have noticed some roses locally to you that did well. That's why diversity is so awesome, because when it's a good year for apples, maybe something else didn't do well. But because it's a good year for apples, you still get a good, consistent harvest. So there's a level of stability that comes with diversity. Swing around here. This garden is not looking as good as it has maybe in the past, this section right here. That's okay though, because there have been some other successes. If we come back here, there's always going to be a blending of failures and successes. We just can't get too down on our failures. We need to celebrate our successes and we need to learn so that we don't make the same mistakes the following year. Come inside here. It's been an amazing year for blueberries. They are loaded. We've been grabbing harvest from blueberries, it seems like almost every day. And it's one of my favorite all-time fruits to eat fresh. So don't give up. Keep planting, keep sowing. It's the only way to make sure you continue getting some delicious fresh harvests. And when you could eat that fresh fruit, it'll revitalize you and it'll kind of reinvigorate you to keep growing. And it's just nothing like coming out here and grabbing some food. If your garden did do bad this year, let that upset you. but only to the point of it motivating you to do better. You could either be discouraged or you could take action today. Getting some work done, journaling, sowing, planning for next year, for next season, for the next round of planting. What if you had to live off of your garden? Quitting wouldn't even be an option. To the left of me here, our cucumbers are doing fantastic this year. A lot of nice ones. I'm growing this white variety over here. Really impressed with it, and the level of production has been incredible. Go up a little bit. Check out the size of that sunflower too. There's always gifts that come from growing a garden. I didn't even plant that sunflower, but when you grow a lot of things, nature seems to work for you. In the beginning, you need to work for nature, you need to get things set up, but when you have a good system all placed together, the system seems to work for you, and there's so many benefits and bonuses that come from having a garden. Not just the health ones, but also it just feels good to be out here. So if things are going a little sour, if your garden isn't going great, look towards the future, because you could have a garden like this in your backyard if you swing around. Me and Tuck aren't doing anything special out here. We just refined, we just learned, we just grew, we just never gave up. You'll notice Tuck hasn't really been in the video much, well, at all. It's way too hot out here. I'm sweating just walking around a little bit and talking. So there comes to a point where, you know, Tuck is getting a little older. We don't want to have him out here if it's going to be not good for him. So fortunately, I wasn't able to film earlier in the day when it was a little cooler, but right now it's super hot out, even though it's still relatively early. So we're making sure we take care of the little boss, because he really is the king, and he's the heart of the whole entire garden. Overall, this has actually been our greatest growing season ever. The amount of tomatoes is incredible. The apples look fantastic. So many cucumbers, so much squash. There's still cabbages ready, and it's been just a great growing season. But me and Tuck know that at this time of the year, it could be a little hard to want to get out here with how hot it is, and if your garden isn't doing that well. So the idea with this video was really to motivate you to come out here, to keep working, to keep investing. You're not just investing in your garden, you're investing in yourself, in your future health, and you're just empowering yourself when you could grow your own food, and you know that you can get the best food in the world right from your own backyard. Some of these tomatoes are getting big over here. You can see some of these tomatoes to the right are ripening. This is a really cool looking one. Indigo black cherry, I think this is called, or the indigo cherry. Overall, a really cool looking one. And a lot of the potatoes have done nice. I grew these in a different fashion this year than I ever have. So I'm excited to see the results when it comes to this. To give you guys that extra burst of encouragement and motivation, the little boss decided to come out. Hey, Tuck, Tucky, Tuck. He's out here. We let him out for a little bit. This guy has zero quit in him. Whenever you feel like quitting or you feel like you can't do it, think of Tuck. This guy is, again, one of our biggest forms of motivation out here. It's so dang hot. He's still out here. He's still working hard. He's still looking for his cucumbers. This guy's protecting the garden, has never taken a day off. Even when he's inside, he's still keeping patrol. He's the guardian of the garden, and we love this guy so much. Makes you spam some hearts down low for the little boss. That was really the idea with this video. We didn't want to just start by showing you how well everything is growing for us, because believe me, I've been there where the garden isn't doing great, and it's especially right now when it's so hot, you feel like there's no reason to get out there. It's like, my garden isn't growing well anyways, what's even the point? The future is the point. Sometimes you don't even understand how much you're learning and how much that could benefit you in the future. I know I've talked a lot about learning and the future, but that's what gardening is about. You can't get stuck just in the mindset of this year. Having an annual mindset won't help you. You need to have a perennial mindset when it comes to gardening. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you got something out of it. We really do hope that you guys got some motivation. We hope that we encourage you to keep growing. Our whole mission is to get as many people growing their own food as possible in their backyard, and then you can motivate other people to grow. That's the whole idea with Team Grow. We're always growing, and just like we mentioned earlier, everything compounds and everything grows exponentially. We're trying to grow Team Grow exponentially and fill the whole country, potentially the whole world, with gardens so people can have the joy of eating their own food, organic, homegrown, fresh, right off the vine, right off the tree. In my opinion, that's truly living. me and Tuck wanted to send a thank you to one of our new channel members. We thought it was the perfect one to highlight for this video. Their name is Not Quitting. We're right on board with that. We're never quitting gardening. We're always going to keep growing. We're always going to keep improving because that's really the essence of life, in my opinion. Continue to get better. Tuck, the boss, the king, the guy who never gives up, the inspiration for the channel. This guy has got my whole heart. I love this little guy so much. And James, we'll be back at you again real soon. We out.